Hello guys, it's now Masters, and yes, I'm back at my parents' home. And you might be asking, no Masters, why are you at your parents' house? Didn't you get kicked out? Why did they let you in? So that is why I'm going to explain the true story. So after I got kicked out from my dad for filing a police report on him, I was disappointed. I didn't know what to do. So I decided to create the video called I am homeless now. If you haven't watched this video, just go ahead and watch it because there are some important words I have said before. And the reason why I reported my dad to the police was because he stole my stuff without my consent, such as thievery, and I already explained in that from another video, and if you haven't watched it, I'll link it down in the description. So yeah, and I didn't know what to do, so I just sat there disappointed. And then I started thinking, maybe if I go to my school, they will offer me resources to help me get out of this rabbit hole. And if you guys didn't know, I already finished school, which means I am no longer a student, just an uneducated man. Yeah, I've done bad school, but yeah. So I went to my school, and I saw that they were closed, and it took me long to realize that they're they only open at 7 a.m. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait for a few hours. So I slept near the school. My teacher at the window saw me, but instead of saying anything, they just walked away. I was confused. I was like, am I in trouble? And then for a few minutes, nothing happened. And I was like, I guess they're not gonna do anything. So I just continued sleeping until 7 a.m., where the school doors were finally open. I entered. I slept on the school bench again because my eyes were tired, really tired after the incident. And then an hour later, I woke up. Then I went to the teacher's room and asked for help. I told them if they have something for me, some resources I could use so I can fix my life and not live on the streets and so on. Um, but first they were confused and they were like, um, what happened? Why are you asking all of those things? I explained the story between me and my dad and how he kicked me out of the house for filing a police report. They were shocked. They weren't happy to hear that. So they decided to help me and said, "Okay, no worries. Just hang tight. I'm gonna send you to another room. There is a teacher that could help you, uh, offer you a homeless shelter, and offer any other resources." I went to the room and I waited a few minutes until the teacher came in. They sat down and asked me a few questions about my situation, and I made sure to answer them precisely. And then after that, they gave me two options. First option is for them to help me find a homeless shelter, or second, I could try to reason with my parents and talk with them. I was like, there is no way I would choose option two, not because I hate them. It was because there is no way they will listen to me or offer me a chance to forget all of this. So I decided to go with the third option, which they didn't tell me, but it was something I came up with. I decided to call my older sister and I told her about my situation, and I was wondering if she could offer me a place to sleep or stay, should I say. And then she said, why did you have to go into this mess? Like, it's your fault. You shouldn't provoke your dad and do all of these things. And I was like, what do you mean I didn't provoke him? He kicked me. I didn't do anything. I had good intentions. I filed a police report because he did something bad to me. And then he got upset because he couldn't handle the fact that he did something bad to me. So instead of taking accountability, he just thought, you know what? I'm just gonna kick him out of the house because I am too scared to take accountability. And then my sister said, I don't know what to do. I mean, figure it out on your own. There's nothing I could do for you. And I was like, okay, that no worries. Have a good day. I hang up the phone. I decided to call my older brother. I told him, hey, I'm homeless because my dad did this. He kicked me out of the house because what I did, even though it was for a good reason. And then he also said, he said, I don't know what to do. I mean, why did you have to provoke him? Like, you know that he can be bad sometimes. And I was like, I know, but I don't like his character. It's good that I stood up for myself. And then he was like, you know, I don't know what to do. I mean, I just don't know what to do. I mean, you've given me a lot in my mind. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry. I mean, you can hang up the phone if you like. And then he hang up the phone. My teacher asked if I had any luck to have a place to stay, and I said, unfortunately, no. Both of them declined. Both of them declined my offer, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I mean, I don't want you to sleep on the streets. I want you to live a happy life. Listen, I think it's best if you talk to your parents. And I was like, what do you mean? They wouldn't listen to me. And I was like, I know, but maybe they will change. Maybe they would change. And I was like, there's no way they would change. What the fuck? There's no way they would change. They're so close minded that no matter what I tell them, nothing works. And then they also said, you know what? I'm just gonna offer you the address for the homeless shelter so you can have a place to sleep in. It was a temporary solution. I mean, homeless shelters in general are not meant to be a permanent solution. It's a temporary solution where you can only stay here for a few days before you have to leave. You know how they operate. It's how the system works. Yeah. So they gave me the homeless shelter address. And they also gave me their card where I can give them a call if I need something and so on. Yeah. I took I took both of the cards, including their card. You know, the first card is the address and the second is their phone number. I took both of the cards and I left school. And I decided to go to the homeless shelter and see if there are any places or room for me to stay. I went to the homeless shelter and I asked a man if there was a room for me, and they said, unfortunately, all of the rooms have been taken. You have to wait for several hours. And I was like, there is no way I'm going to wait several hours. I mean, if I sleep on the street, what if I get mugged? Like, I literally need a place to stay right now. At first, I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I just looked down. I cried a little because life as a homeless man is really difficult because you have to you'll have to do multiple tasks as a homeless man. You have to check if you have eaten any food, if you had any drinks, if you took care of yourself, if you cleaned yourself, and so on. Yeah. So the list goes on, like, did you eat today? Did you drink today? Did you clean today? I mean, my self cleaning. Did you clean yourself today? And so on. Like, it's not easy. Living on the streets is literally a hardcore difficulty in video games. But yeah. And I went to a bar and I sat down to calm down. I mean, the waiters didn't say anything to me. They just looked at me before minding their own business. I just I just sat there, just calming myself down, including my thoughts, until my phone started to ring. I picked up the phone and I looked at it's my older brother. I was like, what does he want? I mean, didn't he decline my offer? Didn't he not want to help me? So I answered and I said, hello, do you need something? And I was like, hey, I after I heard your after I heard your situation, I decided to talk with my wife about this topic, and I made a final decision to offer you a place to stay. Would you like me to pick you up and would you like me to pick you up so you can sleep or have a place to stay? And I was like, yes, please pick me up. And then he said, okay, hang tight, I'll pick you up. So I hang up the phone. I waited for a few minutes, and then he came to the barn and said, all right, let's go to my house. And I was like, okay. I entered his car, and then a few minutes I arrived at his home, or should I say we, because my brother drove me to his house. I entered his house, and his wife greeted me with respect. She was happy to see me, which I am also happy to see her. Yeah. I stayed at his house for a few days until he wanted to have a discussion with me. He wanted to know why I was kicked out, what did I do after I was kicked out, and so on. His wife also wanted to participate in the discussion, and I said, okay, your wife is allowed to know. I answered all of the questions. I told him that my dad did this because of the police report. He kicked me out because I refused to cancel the report and so on. Yeah, they were shocked to hear that. They started to get frustrated at my dad, especially for kicking me out of the house. House. Yeah. So they were frustrated. They couldn't believe that my dad was such a cruel man to do all those things to me over a police report. He got a lot of backlash. My dad got a lot of backlash. He received calls and messages of how much of a horrible person he is, or what he did isn't correct, and that I should deserve to stay at his place even if we have our own flaws. My dad noticed this. He couldn't handle the backlash any longer, so he called me on the phone and said, hey son, I just wanted to let you know that you're allowed to come back to my house and stay. You don't have to apologize, you don't have to say anything, you can just come into my house and say nothing. And I was like, okay, I'll think about it. It took me a few days to think about it, and then I decided to go back to my dad's house. And after I arrived at his house, he saw me and he didn't say anything. He just said, welcome back, just please remember you don't have to apologize or anything, just but I want you to know that you're egotistic for making that police report, but you don't have to apologize for anything. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then there we are, I'm back. I have my PC back. As you can see, here I have my mouse right here. I have my PC back. I have my gadgets back. I have my ID back. And yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna end this video, and shout out to Star the Gamer for defending me in the comment section. I really appreciate your support. And it was kind of unnecessary where you had to be toxic or aggressive towards her for making lies about me that I kicked myself out, even though I didn't kick myself out. My dad kicked me out. It was kind of unnecessary, not because she's my mother. It's because even if you were right, it's not like she's gonna listen to you. She's gonna laugh at you, how ridiculous you are, even if you're not. But yeah, I really appreciate your support. Make sure you subscribe to him. Make sure you give him all the love he deserves. I am really thankful that you defended me. I thank you so much. You have no idea what this means to me. I've never seen a subscriber defending me in the comment section before. It's insane. But yeah, I'm gonna end this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.